Hello everyone, welcome back to another Poly Talks video. In this video, we will be reviewing some recent political elections and changes that occurred recently, which I think it's helpful to have a general update every now and then, just to remind yourselves that elections do not only happen in November on even-numbered years, but they are happening all the time, locally, and even on the state level, and it still provides an interesting point for us to review politics and kind of the general temperature, if you will, of the country at the moment, even as the quote unquote more important elections still have a few more months before they really begin to gain attention. And the first such election I'm going to be discussing today is the victory of Branton Johnson in the Chicago mayor's race. And this was an upset victory, not expected, and the key thing to note is that Branton Johnson is a progressive. So the theme of this article is that progressives got a big boost. They were invigorated after wins in Chicago, which was a major victory for them because it proved that they can have a successful approach in large cities, and of course we saw with the case of Eric Adams in New York that they had a few setbacks on this as well. So this progressive victory in Chicago is really a massive victory for progressives. And another political aspect this article mentions is the win in Wisconsin, and that relates to the fact that liberal Janet Protashwitz defeated conservative Dan Kelly in a Wisconsin Supreme Court race. And what's important about this gives Democrats their first, or I should say liberals, their first Supreme Court majority in Wisconsin for 15 years. And that is a massive victory for them, especially as abortion becomes an increasingly discussed and debated issue. I'm sure Democrats and liberals are thrilled to have a majority on this Supreme Court in Wisconsin. And I think this victory was largely a result of the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Yes, it happened a while ago. However, it still has effects on current elections, and this candidate, Janet, she ran a campaign largely focused around abortion, and it was successful. And this is a huge victory for Democrats in the state of Wisconsin. And the final major political event that occurred in the last week or so is that North Carolina Representative Tricia Cotham criticized the Democratic Party and switched to the Republican Party, which means that Republicans now have a veto-proof supermajority, and that is huge because, of course, there is a Democratic governor in North Carolina, but other than that, the state leans quite far Republican at this point, and the ability of this Congress to override vetoes could be a major rift between the governor and these Republicans in Congress, and this is, although the first two may have been great news for progressives and Democrats broadly, this is a major blow to them, especially as North Carolina has been the forefront of many issues like redistricting in recent years. So what we can expect from this party switch, we do not know. Whether Tricia Cotham will change her voting style or whatnot, but I do expect it will have some sort of effect on the functioning of this legislative chamber. So that is, of course, a major pain point for Democrats, and a sign that, and we could say this about all the articles, is that perhaps this country, and we know this country, is becoming a lot more extreme, and that is being really exemplified in these elections. So we saw that progressives won the Chicago mayoral race in a city that is heavily Democratic, and this liberal one in Wisconsin, and then this Democratic representative cited issues and disagreements with the Democratic Party and switched to the Republicans. So, what we might be gleaning from this is that as a whole, Democrats may be shifting to the left, which may be turning off some originally more centrist or middle of the road Democrats who were elected under that banner and now are switching to the Republican Party, Kirsten Sinema one of them, because they disagree with the current leaning of the modern Democratic Party. So that is why I decided to conduct an analysis of these three seemingly distinct election results in three separate states, or I should just say political events. Two of them were election results, because we can all glean kind of a common message from that. And I always love to take three different data points and really extrapolate and determine what we can learn and what we can take away from that data. And so for these three events, the main takeaway that is that our suspicions are confirmed and that Democrats are moving further to the left, just as I'm sure we could also find evidence that Republicans are moving to the right, i.e., the process of political polarization. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and look forward to another video in not so distant future. See you later. Bye.